right, welcome everyone. Grand Rising, good day. You are tuned into the Peak Wellness Hour, and we are here on the last Saturday of January, the last day of January. And all January long, we have been talking about building healthy, strong foundations. And so we have to understand that once we begin to change our inner codes and core beliefs, the next question becomes, who am I becoming? Not who I had to be to survive, but who I am called to be in wholeness. So today we're going to dive into that. We're going to have a discussion and we're going to end the month of January off with a bang. So you all stay tuned, stay connected with us throughout this whole broadcast. I think it'll bless your heart, your spirit, and your mind. So grab a pen and paper, share, like, and subscribe, and we'll be right back. All right, so here we are. So glad to be in the digital building with you all. We're going to jump right into this conversation. The title is Identity and Worth, Building from Who You Are, Not What You Survived. So I know the lovely Bree is here with us and she is on a time crunch. I know you all, we value your time when you come in and spend time with us. So I'm going to let Queen Edith bring us in and we'll just dive right on in. Queen.
Hello, family. We are excited to come back your way. It is the last day of January, and it's the birthday of two very favorite people. My older brother, without him, I probably wouldn't be here. I come right after him. And then, of course, my best friend's older brother. Isn't that interesting? Happy birthday, big brother Reggie and big brother Joe. Well, we are talking about identity, your identity and worth. Okay, we are talking not just as concepts, okay, but as lived realities. Let me break it down. Many of us learn who we were by what we survived, but survival is not the same as identity, and coping is not the same as calling and or purpose. So I ask this question to my clients, and every time, a lot of the time, I've asked this question both to groups and also to individuals. Who are you when you're stripped of everything? When you're stripped of your career, when you're stripped of your lineage, when you're stripped of your connections, when you're stripped of your finances, when you're stripped of everything, your education, and when you stand in the mirror naked, who are you? Because the fundamental of who you are never changed. This is a very difficult question for many to answer, because the moment you ask someone to tell them about you, especially if it's a job interview, they'll tell you about the job they have done and their work experiences. They'll tell you that I am married or I'm single. They identify themselves as mothers, as parents, as husbands, as wife, as their career. I'm a nurse, I'm this. But who are you without all those things? I want you to answer that question in the comments. Who are you when stripped of everything? Where do you find your identity at the core? We're going to break this down in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Hopefully, we'll be able to break it down as much as we can before we end. We're going to try to end exactly when we are supposed to, so you can all get on with life. Amen. Brie, I'll let you go. Identity. What is identity?
Well, I think identity means a lot of different things for people, but when I think about it in the sense of like survival, I think our identity is really based on like how we perceive ourselves. You know, it can be that because of the trauma, I, and this reminds me of my core beliefs, like it could be that you identify as um, fearful or worthless. But it can be tricky because, identity, like you said, it means not what you do. It could be that I am loyal. It could be that I am resilient. I am smart, and we focus so much on like other aspects to it that we start to identify with external factors.
Mm-hmm.
I know this happens to me where I will identify myself with a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, like I have to see myself for who I am, stripped out of what I do and the world around me.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It
Yes, it
does.
does. It does. Queen, you want to go or should I go in there?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm putting these links in real quick. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I'd like to go talk a little about how our survival shapes our identity or shapes the awareness of who we think we are. Okay. Some common survival identities are I am a strong woman. Okay, I'm a strong woman. Well, the moment sometimes people say I'm a strong woman, a lot of the time they are talking about the things they have survived
Mm-hmm.
that keeps them standing no matter what. Okay, you have no
Mm-hmm.
idea what I've been through. I am a strong woman, but there's a difference between a strong woman and a woman of strength.
Mm.
There is a
Right.
difference. A
Mm-hmm.
strong man and a man of strength. They're two different things, okay? You say you are strong because of what you have survived or what you think you're capable of going forward, okay? I am responsible. I'm a responsible husband. I take care of my wife and my children. I take care of my responsibilities. I'm a responsible man, okay? I am the caretaker, okay? I am an achiever. I am the silent one. And some of us, we live by the trauma. We live by the trauma. We talk about what you have survived, or we live by the trauma we have survived, okay? And that's where all these statements come in. All right. And before I'll let the other ladies talk. But the question is, how do you identify yourself based on what you've been through? Is it based on what you've been through or what you have done?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay, because yeah, what you have done, what you continue to do, or is it
Mm-hmm.
just what you have been through? People say, like in addiction, people say, like, I don't want to doubt, but some of the addiction groups say, I am an addict. I am an addict. They continue, even when they are recovering, they say, I am an addict. And this thing will be addressed in the book we chose from our for our book club. I am an addict. But you see, the way you identify yourself determine the expectation you are setting for others. If I walk up to Brie and I say, "Hey Brie, I am Edith and I am an addict,"
Mm.
straight up, she's thinking about what is she addicted to. Straight up, I'm setting up an expectation for her. Don't be surprised if you find me drunk somewhere. I already told you I'm an addict.
Right.
Something about your psyche prepares the person you're meeting not to be surprised about the behavior you're getting ready to show them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But the moment you say, I used to be an addict and I have been in recovery
Mhm.
and never touched alcohol for the past 1 year, you also set an expectation. When I walk up to you and I say, I'm a survivor of abuse, I've
Mhm.
been through abuse, but it hasn't made me bitter. I am not bitter. Oh, I have been abused a lot, and so I fight. I fight everybody who tries. You call me a certain way, I'm getting ready to fight you. So the way we call what we call ourselves, we set expectations for others and we set expectations for ourselves. It has a way of determining the way we are going to behave.
Mm-hmm.
So when you introduce yourself, what do you say? That's what I want to know. All right.
I love it. I love it. First,
Oh.
Okay, Queen.
I can
Listen, you will still be back.
go. You brought really good
sorry.
points. Oh,
No, you're fine. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I kicked myself off.
um, you're fine. And then you know what? Like, it's so important that you ask yourself, like, who are you besides all these things? Because obviously, like, identity encompasses a whole umbrella of things, right? We've talked about our core values. Identity has a lot to do with our core values, our beliefs, the roles we play, okay? Gender roles, professional roles, if you're a partner, a friend, and then like the experience that you went through. Obviously, they shape you into being the person who you are now, like the trauma or any experience that obviously you walk through life, and then the choices that you made that have created your identity, that resilience that I was thinking of earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the meaning that you have for life, like all of these things, like really do shape your identity. Because at one point, like when we go through experiences, Edith said, if you have violence in your life, that's going to determine a lot, like how you carry yourself, how people perceive you. Because if you go up to someone and with creating that expectation that you're an addict or I used to be, like unconsciously, our minds are wandering,
Mm-hmm.
right? About your identity already. Like, oh, does that mean this person's a liar? Without even thinking about like what it truly means to, say that I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other thing, like sometimes when people say label themselves like an addict, or oh, I have anxiety, depression, you don't really say that, like I'm an anxiety or I people sometimes do say, I'm borderline, I'm bipolar, but like you're already like creating an atmosphere where I don't know about you, but it seems like we're walking on eggshells almost, because we don't know how you'll react to the conversation or how we have to be towards you,
Mm-hmm.
because the expectations are already being placed from you to to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a little bit tricky, and I think that you know we don't always have to label ourselves. Those things, those labels are not always our identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I say not always because some people make it be their identity.
Mm-hmm.
You're more than just that. more than just the labels that you've been diagnosed with or that people have been telling you all your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're in the digital building, please say hello in the comment section. We want to hear your thoughts and comments too while we're having this conversation because it's so important. I do want to give a special shout out to my older sister who's in the digital building for the first time. So welcome, sis. I want to say this.
Hello, Queen Kelly. Welcome. It's good to meet
Yes. Yes, yes. I want to read this. So the definition of I am, right? Got mother, sister in the building, Grand Rising Queen. The definition of I am. It says the first person singular. We talked about putting ourselves first last week, right? And talking about how that is self is and not selfish a lot of times. So it says the first person singular present indicative of the verb to be, used to declare existence. So we're talking about declare, we're speaking this thing into existence, into reality, right? So used to declare existence, identity, or state of being. It signifies personal presence or defines characteristics. The phrase is also used as a spiritual context or a tool for positive affirmation to empower self-worth and purpose. It combines the pronoun I and the verb am to describe oneself in the present. So here's my question for you all in the audience. When we are like these ladies said, talking about who we are and the labels and whatnot, what is the one word like right now today? And a lot of times we can, like she said, we jump from things to things, our emotions and our state of being, our state of mind. But right now, what one adjective can you say where you say I am and attach something great to that?
I don't know if you saw it, but I wrote, finish the sentence, I am, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you saw it in the comment, but
nope, let me go back and do it.
Whilst we wait for them to, for our viewers to, respond. You see, I came to a point where I had my I am statement. And I believe that it has set an expectation for me, and I've lived to that expectation. Mm-hmm. And when you say I am, like Queen explained, is presence. It's significant of presence. It means that when I step in this room, this is what I represent. Mm-hmm. Okay. So right there and then, people have an expectation of who you are and what your behaviors must be if they align. My name is Edith. Normally, I will not tell you my name is Edith because I know the meaning of my name and I love it. And we need to be careful. We need to be careful what we say about ourselves. When I introduce myself and I say I am Edith, I know that Edith means a wealthy warrior or rich in war. What that means to me is there are battles that Edith must fight, but Edith wins. Edith already approaches the battle as if she is a winner. No matter what you do to put Edith down, she may go down, but Edith will arise again. There is no way you can keep her down. That's my mindset. I'm not saying this because I'm on this platform. When you watch all my videos, I have a slogan. Pastor Edith Amatefio, daughter of the King, peak. I am peak. For out of my ashes, I arise. Okay. Identify with the 3 Hebrew boys who went into the fire and came out. And to me, this is how I put it. The smell of fire was not even on them. The fire didn't determine who they became. It didn't influence them. Actually, it made them develop the muscle to overcome. So when I say peak, out of my ashes I arise. My personal symbol is the phoenix. If you know the story of the phoenix, the ancient story about the phoenix, the phoenix regenerates itself by burning itself. Okay, and it comes out of the ashes, better, stronger, wiser, whatever. See, this is Edith's identity. For the past 6, 7 years, it has been my identity. And as a result, when I greet you and I greet and I say, hello, I am Edith, I know exactly what I'm saying. It kind of moves something inside of me. And I work hard to make sure I align with what I believe of myself. So the question is this: when you say I am Angelina, when you say I am Brianni, what are you really saying? Many years ago, I was in Mary Kay, and one of the exercises we did was someone will come at you strongly. Who are you? Who do you think you are? And I learned to take my initials and develop something. I am the energetic, excellent, determined, industrial, so EDITH, and this is who I am. So you see, when you say your name, what are you saying? If you continue to say, if every day, if the words we speak are powerful, and that your name means defeated, and every day we are calling you defeated, what do you think it does to you? So I am is representative not just of who you are, but what you show up. So when you begin to speak negatively about yourself, your whole psyche takes hold of it. It's so powerful. Your whole psyche takes hold of it. So the question is this: when you have to say I am, what is the one word that comes to your mind? And do you believe it? Does it move something inside of you? So finish the statement. I am who are you?
Absolutely. And I had a conversation not too long ago, and I'm sorry, Queen, I was trying to look for yours that you put in there, but I couldn't find it in the messages, so I just retyped it. So I didn't want you to think that you sent it and I didn't.
No, it's fine.
But had a conversation, and a lot of times, like you said, when you say it, do you believe it? And it's interesting because a lot of us know who we are, but we don't believe it. It's like, I win the lottery, and I know I won the lottery. I got this ticket. They called the numbers off. It's confirmed, but I don't believe it. Sometimes in our greatness, sometimes when we overcome what we've survived, we don't believe that we are deserving, that we have the right to heal, that we have a right to a whole holistic, well lifestyle. We don't believe those things, but it's evident. It's evident from the trauma that you experienced, from the trials and tribulations. And now here you are, Grand Rising, King D Mays, with my Mind Games Uncut, Grand Rising. It has to be evident. But you have to walk it out. So a lot of times we know these things, but we're so hesitant because of fear of what somebody else may think, because of fear of rejection, because fear of acceptance. But you have to walk in your truth, and you have to believe it to where it presents like that. You have to feel that thing. If you're having issues with your finances, you've been used to living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck your whole life, been working since you're a teenager, did all these different things. And now we have the mindset of, now I don't live paycheck to paycheck, make a little more money salary wise, but I can't do this because I'm broke, because I ain't got it. And it's that mindset, and that's what prevents us from saving, from leaving generational wealth, from all kinds of things, from going on vacation, from taking a break, because it's that mindset, but it's evident otherwise. We have to walk out this belief system that we're in. So I'll land there.
No, and I think it really connects with our self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
am I worthy? Like you made it really clear, like, am I worthy of these things?
Mm-hmm.
Do I deserve to take a break? Do I, like, what would it say about me? What are others going to say about me if I, maybe I want to believe these things about myself, about who I am, but then it's always that piece of like, we're always like second guessing ourselves, but it's also because maybe I'm not feeling fully secure with how I perceive myself. Because sometimes we give a lot of energy to others.
Yes.
And I know we do this in groups where sometimes we have to think about it, and we have to think inwards as other people. They're not going to pay attention to every little thing that you're doing. Or, maybe something happens to you in an area where there's a lot of people, but they're going to forget about it later. We're the ones that hurt ourselves because of how we perceive ourselves, that it keeps going down, in our mind. We overwhelm ourselves with those thoughts of, oh, I should have said something different. Oh, I messed up. But nobody remembers all these things, just us. And it just ties down to, how do I feel about myself? If I've been in constant survival mode and I can't catch a break, and I'm still thinking that, there's a lot to fear, etc., I'm going to stay feeling that way, like always alerted, never safe. It can be really tricky in our minds. Sometimes they don't know how to react if you don't know how to regulate your nervous system. It stays alerted even after the trauma has passed. And that's got to be really exhausting.
Yeah. I think sometimes we have to just walk through it. A lot of times we want to share our survival stories. We want to share our wins, and we have to be careful with that. We have to guard our hearts. We have to guard our energy, our minds, our spirits, to where you have to know your audience. When you're in that process, and on that journey to wholeness, sometimes it's just better to just keep it to yourself, because if you're not strong enough to say, this is who I am who I am, it's all it takes is one person to knock you off, and it's like, well, now I can't be that person. Maybe I'm not that person. If Edith sees me this way, if Bree sees me, they know me. Maybe I'm not that person that I say I am, so know who you are dealing with, and just be okay with that quietness with yourself, to learn yourself, to accept yourself, validate yourself. And for me, when I fall short on things, and they're just small, little simple things, I'll say out loud, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I'm tired today. I worked all day. I've got 2 loads of laundry that I let build up, so now I've got to throw the laundry in. I'm done. I've folded it up. I put it away. And I'll say, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. My husband's like, well, good job, babe. I'm proud of you too. I'm like, it's not about that. It's me saying that I didn't want to do this thing. And I have to applaud myself, because even something so simple as putting the laundry away, I didn't want to do it. And now my house could look a mess because I didn't do it. So I'm proud of myself because I made that initiative, because I went that distance. And it's just little things like that that help us get on that road to bigger things. Hence us reading the book Atomic Habits here in February, just little small habits that set you on a habitual, consistent path to making the changes that you need to make, that are required for your life. And we don't understand that a lot of times the choices and the changes we have to make They're not choices, they are requirements. Sometimes we are required to make a change in our life. If we don't want things going down a different road, we are required. You do have the choice, but it's a requirement. And if you look back on your life, we talked about last week, the past 5 years, the then and the now. What things did you have to do to get to where you are right now? And the struggle is part of the journey. Overcoming is part of the journey. But at the end of it, you can say, I came out of this thing and I feel better about it, So, yeah.
Hello, Tina. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here, Queen. I want to go back to knowing our identity again, based on everything you ladies have said. One of the things I want you to think about is foundations.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your foundation. I know that many of you have suffered so much trauma, all kinds of abuse, right from childhood. Okay. But before all of those happened, you are. Okay. And when I made the statement about, and I've always liked to use my examples, bringing out the meaning of my name. If you don't know the meaning of your name, find it. Taking my initials and formulating something out of it, the energetic, the excellent, the determined, the industrials. Okay, time, all those things. You bring it together. It has nothing to do with what I do.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with what education I have. It has nothing to do with the role I play. Everything is internal. And the thing about it, if you've never tried it, I'm so grateful for being in Mary Kay those times, because I learned a lot. It's much more than selling lipsticks. Let me just say this. Okay, so there's a shift that happens inside of you. There's a shift, and that shift determines the way you're going to behave, the way you're going to react or respond to the circumstances of life. Okay, I've heard people say it's not so much what happened to you, once again, but what you do with it. It's also as a therapist who loves CBT. It's the way you think about it and you process it. Okay, situations in life sometimes help you develop muscle. You may have been through so much, and maybe because of your experience, you realize that your purpose is connected to it. God forbid you may have been raped at a very young age. Okay, you may have a ministry or an assignment or a purpose towards young ladies and young men who may have been raped. So, what are you going to do with it? It has happened already. Okay. So many of us are forming our identity based on the trauma. What happens with that is we get our lives into a negative cycle. We're not ready to face the reality of what we've been through. Talk about it, think about it, deal with it, process it, get help for it, and let it become not a stumbling block, but your stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
But all this can happen if you've come to the realization of who I am. The Bible says this. The Lord said, we are a royal priesthood. You are a holy nation. I believe strongly that if I was the only human being on earth, God would have loved me so much that he would still send his son Jesus to die. So I know I am valuable. I know that everything I've been through, there is a purpose in it. There is a purpose for it. You see the mindset. This hurt. And I'm not saying don't have your pity party.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need to cry it out. Sometimes we need to vent it out. Sometimes we need to do whatever it takes to get over it. But we must get over it. It can either break us down and our life will be over because one person who has no self-worth decided to mess with your life. And we determined that that person is worth so much that our life became over.
Mm-hmm.
So some of us, our lives have been over 10 years ago because of a situation that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not minimizing your pain, but I'm elevating you, who you are. What do you believe you are? Because fundamentally, that does not change. If the Lord, and I'm going to bring it in, right? If the Lord who created you for a purpose and an assignment, and this happened to you, what can you make out of it? They say when life gives you lemons, you learn to make lemonade or whatever it is you can make out of it. What are you making out of it?
Mm.
Would you bring your life to a standstill? All these come from your foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Who am I? When I show up in that room, who am I? And I say this so strong because I believe in who I believe I am. I know who I am, in spite of. Does it mean life has been perfect? No. Does it mean I've been knocked down so many times? But no one person is worth it. So the question is this: do you value who you are enough to arise and push and fight for that person to emerge in spite and because of the situations you've been through? Purpose in your pain, purpose in the fires.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Queen. Yeah, I love it. I love it, Tina. I love it.
Absolutely.
And Queen, before you go on, and when you come about foundations, you can say I'm rebuilding my foundations. Some building blocks have become shaky. I need to remove the building block, solidify the cement, and re-establish it. We can say I have been this and I have allowed it to let me down, but I'm at a stage where I'm really rebuilding my life. I'm finding myself. I'm getting to know self. Okay, so there is no reason not to start again. We can always rebuild.
Absolutely.
And I just want to add something before I leave here. I love that you brought that up, Edith. And sometimes we need to give ourselves compassion and being honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Passion and honesty is probably very helpful, as we grow into our identity, into our purpose, to what we truly do value. And you don't fix yourself, your self-esteem by becoming someone else. You heal from that pain that you went through by remembering who you are underneath. And I think that's the message that I got from that, Edith, is you're still there. You're just healing from it.
I love that.
Me too.
I'm putting that in the chat.
Me too. Bree, it's always a pleasure having you. There's something you bring to the table that none of us have. And I'm thankful for your uniqueness. I know you gotta go. So go on and have yourself an
You guys take care, okay? Be safe in the
also enjoy your family. She's got some family time, you all. So she's walking in her purpose. So
okay. I love you all.
Thank you so much. I love you.
Love you. Bye.
And
And
rising.
adding on to what Bree said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
also grace and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Giving ourselves grace and learning to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we are so hard on self. We struggle to, hey, Queen Charlotte, we struggle to get over what we have done, the mistakes we have made, the pain we may have caused, sometimes just to ourselves, to our families. We need to learn to give ourselves grace.
Mm-hmm.
Let the grace of God that He makes available to us
Mm-hmm.
allow you to give your own self grace and forgive self. Queen.
Absolutely. And that's so true. And when you don't, again, and I've said this before, you bind yourself to that situation when you don't forgive yourself. I think it can be tricky because a lot of times things happen and we have to realize that, I don't know, for me, certain things don't warrant forgiveness. And I'll leave that there. Some deeper things for me don't
But
warrant.
why though?
Well,
Why?
this is what I've learned. I have to, because of that. I was going to say, because of that, I have to forgive myself for feeling that way and healing from that. Let me give um, predatory behaviors, things like that. Those are the things that I am not lenient lenient with giving people a pass. That's what I'll say. We have to understand
Okay.
that forgiveness doesn't always mean giving a pass to bad behavior. Let me say it like that. And when we don't choose to heal from those traumatic situations, there needs to be forgiveness for self to not choose to heal from other people's poor behavior. Does that make sense? So a lot
That
of times we can't forgive the offense because we don't understand. We feel like it's a pass to say it. This thing happened to me, so I forgive you, and it's okay, and it's not. And when we don't understand that, then we feel like we're forced to have to forgive this thing, this person, and it causes anger. It causes disturbance in your mind, disturbance in your peace, and it all comes back to you and you being bound, you choosing to be bound by a situation that you had no control over, and learning how to release,
that is a very important point that you raise, because to forgive someone for something they did does not preclude them of
Mm-hmm.
accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every single day there is work. We all have to work towards something. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that I see myself as this person, this is the way I view myself, doesn't mean there is work, there is not work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you have arrived. Sometimes you say it, you believe it, and becoming it, or becoming the full potential of what you know you are, is work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's work. So let's just put it in a marriage situation, or even in a family situation. I forgive you, but you need to work on this thing, because you can't continue to do the same thing. I will not continue to accept this behavior towards me. You will not continue to dishonor me. You will not continue to treat me in a way that makes me feel less than. But I forgive you. But I'm not going to allow you to get close to me until you work on your behavior. So forgiving self and forgiving the other person all does not mean there is no work to be done. But forgiveness and love sometimes opens a door for the
Mm-hmm.
person to learn to be better. And if they don't, you have to figure out how to move on from there,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to separate yourself from the situation. That's where self value comes in so much. Who you are must include the value you have for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to the extent that you don't allow anything
Mm-hmm.
around you and anyone around you. You have to learn to develop those boundaries. In fact, knowing who you are helps you build the needed boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
because it shapes your purpose. It shapes what you know you will accept and what you cannot accept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is very fundamental, and we are talking about this. We have been very deliberate in our topics for the month of January, because we know that a lot of us believe and think new year, new you, but that's not automatic. It is work. It
Mm-hmm.
is work. And based on that, don't forget the book club begins this Sunday, February 1st. We know that many of you may not have the book, but we are encouraging you. We're going to share our website, we're going to share the links, and we're going to read this book together. Queen G and I, and any of our team members who is interested, will come together once a week to discuss the book. Tiny changes, remarkable results. It's so important that we learn to make these little changes, which really shifts the trajectory of your life and of mine.
Mm-hmm.
If we're gonna be better versions of ourselves by the next 3 months, 6 months, read this book and let's do it together. Tiny changes, remarkable results, Atomic Habits by James Clear. There's a Kindle version, there's an Audible version, there is also the paperback version, as well as the hard copy version. Please get your copy. We have posted a link, and support us by choosing the link. Support us by buying from the link. Click on the link, go buy on Amazon. It costs you nothing, but it gives us a little bit to support the Peak Wellness Hour. How about that, Queen?
How about that? Yeah. So that the QR code is on the screen. Sorry to knock our faces off. That QR code is on the screen. It is also in the description as well as in the chat. So you all can grab that book. I'm excited about reading it. I think it's going to be a great read. So make sure, if you've not read it, we've got the books here. It's going to be a great start to finishing out this year strong, finishing out life strong. So it is a great guidebook to just making those small little changes, like we talked about, just little by little, and just feeling inspired by those little changes that you're making in your life. I think it's so important for us to be excited about what we have in store for our own individual lives. We have got to be excited about life, you all. We cannot just keep existing. We have got to live and thrive and be excited about it. You know, the positivity is going to change your mindset. Just, yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to read this real quick.
Curious about this comment. Oh, you're also reading it. I
Mhm.
always think I'm a human being and always wrong myself and others. And based of that, I always ask for forgiveness from the Father through the Son. Not a single day goes by that I don't ask for forgiveness. And I also try to forgive others and have my peace with God. Peace is so important, Charlotte. Thank you so much for sharing, really. Peace is so needed. So whatever we can all do to ensure that we are keeping our peace and also building those boundaries that allow us to maintain that peace is
Mhm.
key, is key to our life going forward. Queen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. That's just about all I have. I don't know. I do want to say this. I know we're almost out of time, and we've loved this engagement. We've had so many positive comments in the comment section. I'm loving it. But before I forget, speaking of books, I do want to encourage you all, and I'll put this up. I want to encourage you all to grab a book called The Glory Carrier. If you all did not check out the broadcast with my queen aunt Gloria Carter, let me find this real quick. Let me see, this is it. She has a powerful story, and she has just released a new book. It's called The Glory
Wow.
Carrier. It is a prayer journal. So I am very excited to promote this. This is also in the description on YouTube and Facebook, and it is on our Peak Wellness pages, and it's also in the comment section. You can scan the QR code, but it's a prayer journal. Just going through the journey. Just it's a guided kind of thing. So I got my copy. I know today is the last day. She's got it on Amazon. Today is the last day to get it for a discounted rate before it goes up in February. I think it's $15 for the book. I got my I ordered my tomorrow, so I am so very excited about this. So you all make sure you all grab that copy. That, and again, Atomic Habits. That one we are going to start reading. So we definitely want to grab Atomic Habits. I know Gloria she's got some great things coming with this book. I try to ask her to do a book club for this one too. That's a lot of reading, but reading is fundamental. So grab some good books. If you all have book suggestions that you'd like us to read, that you would like to read with us, let us know, because we have to get this down packed. And a lot of times just diving into information, and not just once, a couple of times. Like I said, I've read Atomic Habits. I'm going to read it again, and I'll probably read it again. So grab reading materials that are going to bless your heart. I know Atomic Habits, when you all get that, if you look on the website, it does have a workbook to go with it, chapter by chapter. So grab something when you're reading. I want to encourage you all to just take notes. I tell people all the time, I do not share books. I will buy you a book before I share one of my books with anybody. I like making connotations and little notes and stuff, and they're just important to me. So I just don't like to share. So, but I will buy you a book if you need one. So if you are interested in the book club, if you're interested in getting Atomic Habits, and there is a need for financial support, you can definitely reach out to us directly at, it is Peak Wellness Hour at gmail.com. If you need some assistance with that, that is a private matter, and we will not disclose that necessity, but we want to bless anyone that wants to go to higher new heights. So do not be afraid to ask for help. If you need some help, say, I am willing to grow and I deserve, so however you want to put it. So if you do need that support, just let us know. And again, that's peakwellnesshour at gmail.com. So that is all I have for that. Queen.
And our website is coming up. Because you know what? If you missed any of our January discussions, please go back and watch them. I promise you it's worth your time. From the foundations to your core values and core principles and certain boundaries and core beliefs. And we've tried to bring something that will help your 2026 journey, especially those of us who are looking to go further. There is always room for improvement. I remember hearing somebody say that the biggest room, the largest room in the world, is the room for improvement. We can all be better, all of us. Sometimes it's the little changes that make a difference. I encourage you to journal who you are, stripped of everything by you.
Absolutely.
Stripped of your title, stripped of your education, stripped of your connection, stripped of your role as a mother, as a wife, as a pastor, stripped of your husband, as a father, stripped of all of this. Who are you? It's not what you do, it's who you are at the core. That's the foundation. If there's something wrong in your building blocks in the foundation, there's nothing wrong with rebuilding, rediscovering, and getting a beginning that is worth, so that when you get to the top, nothing will bring you down. Your structure will be solid. The I am statement is so important. When we go to interviews, and tell me about yourself, and we all get stuck. It seems simple, but we don't know who you are. Knowing who you are is fundamental to where you're going, to knowing what what you stand for and what you will not stand for, what your pet peeves are, and what your non-negotiables are. This
Mhm.
is key, and it's foundational to your growth, to your development. It also guides you into knowing what changes you need to make to get to where you know you can be. Okay, so I don't know. You didn't give me permission to give my final word, but it looks like these are my final words. I'm so grateful, Tina Sasa, woman of God. It's good to see you. And we want to say this: if you want to be part of our conversations, we'd like to hear from you because
Mhm.
we want a lot of diversity, so we can bring worth to our worthy and valuable listeners. There's so much value out there, and we want to be able to
Mhm.
bring it to our people. So if it's something you would like to do, would like to hear from you, Peak Wellness Hour at gmail.com. Peak Wellness Hour. If you are our personal friends and you know our phone numbers and you can text us, please feel free to text us. We are more
Mhm.
than glad to have this conversation.
And I almost got the website. Here's the thing, you all, because I know we've been talking about this website. There is an issue, and I won't say what platform I'm using because I want to be fair. But I'm using a different platform with this website, and I do build websites. This one has been so tricky, so I've got the website together. It's redirecting our domain to a different thing, so I've got to figure out what to do without just tearing it all down and starting all over again. So I promise you, it's there and it's ready. I just got to figure out how to get to it. So we promise you that's going to be on there. But in the meantime, yes, you can definitely reach out to us um, via email, and then we will put up the schedule and whatnot for the book club and all that jazz. So I'm looking for
And
some.
Facebook has been taking down the videos. So they will
Mhm.
be on our website.
Mhm.
Share the videos, it may make them last a little longer.
Mhm.
We have a YouTube page, the Peak Wellness Hour on YouTube
Mhm.
again, and those don't get taken down. Please go on our YouTube page, like the Peak Wellness Hour on YouTube, and the videos will be permanent there. I love our videos, and I'm thankful for all of you. So yeah, we are growing right in front of you. We are developing, we are maturing, we are getting better right in front of you. So we want to also witness your growth, your maturity, your development, and how far you're gonna go. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a great January. Get ready for February. Matters of the Heart. Our February theme is Matters of the Heart. The proverbial heart, which talks about the health of your heart. Queen G is a nurse, right? So she's going to educate us about the how to be healthy right at the core, our heart. Okay, and we'll also talk about the proverbial heart. This one is the real heart, the actual heart, and then the proverbial heart when it comes to love and affection, the things we love, the people we love, and how those things impact us. So get ready for an amazing February. We
Yes.
can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, until next Saturday, the first Saturday of February, we are here every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you come on at 10 and you don't see it, just give us a second. We're coming in. But every Saturday, we are here and so excited to share with you all. And so until then, we wish you peace, love, and blessings. Peace.